through all of this. You told me that you loved me so much, but now we're here, and I can barely breathe. Inside my head, I pulled apart all the pieces to only see I've always wanted you. So let's take this time to feel it all, no lies. 'Cause if we don't, the fight will eat the love alive. Stuck in self-destruct, and we can't wake up. Don't wanna give it away. You make me give it away. Don't eat the love alive. Don't eat the love alive. Don't eat the love alive. I know we're scared, and every day feels like a bad day. My biggest fear is you will walk away. The battle's here, and I'm standing in the fire. So take my hand, and we will stay alive. So let's take this time to feel it all, no lies. 'Cause if we don't, the fight will eat the love alive. Stuck in self-destruct, and we can't wake up. Don't wanna give it away. Can't make me give it away. Don't eat the love alive. 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 Don't eat the love alive.
4 wide from the lead into turn number 3. Coming to the line. Who's going to get it done? Green flag, we're racing. Get your foot in. 3 wide. He got it. He's got it. He's got it.
Get there, no!
This is going to win.
Wow!
The Modern Racing Prince Open let me try it again. I screwed up the name of the series. The ModernRacingPrince.com Open Wheel Series, presented by FTF.GG, welcomes you to the season finale. Finally, it's the FTF.GG 500. This race has been on the back burner for, 3 weeks or so? Because nobody was available for the originally scheduled date. Now we are ready to do battle here from Rancho, Cucamonga here at California Speedway. Jacob Pitts, Kyle Riley, Caleb Hoffman with you. The band is back together again, and we are so glad to be with you here tonight as we get ready for 500 kilometers, not quite 500 miles, here at Indianapolis. Before we go any further, there is a lot to talk about. As far as points coming into tonight's race, this is the season finale. The top 2 in points for the regular season title, separated by just 7, Jacob Oster and Robert Malechka. Philip Kraus, the dark horse, he is 3rd. He is also not here tonight, so he is out of it. And it'll be a 2-horse race for the title. The Road Championship that was decided a couple of weeks ago almost a month ago back at Watkins Glen. Philip Kraus, the winner there. The Oval Championship will also be decided tonight between Robert Malechka and Jacob Oster. Your Triple Crown, your Ghost Sim Racing Triple Crown points, that's a mess because Hamilton Akablese is not here and Alex Van de Sant is not here. So somebody else in yellow going to win that one. I believe we are coming to green already. We have a 21-car field. We're not even going to get to show you the grid, so we're just going to pull it over on the left-hand side of the screen as we are ready to go here from Indianapolis. No, where are we, Bill? California. We're already off to a great start. We're racing.
Down into turn 3, the whole field still side by side here at Auto Club. You're going to be seeing them use every single groove of this racetrack, down to the apron, maybe even in turns 3 and 4, all the way up to that wall. Can't miss it. It's painted blue, and you're going to see them use every inch of this racetrack. Just look at that pavement, and just look at this battle for the lead. They've been side by side the whole way around. Jacob Oster taking the high groove, Brophy to the bottom. Looks like Brophy has the advantage now, but off turn 2, that high groove gets such momentum.
Here comes Oster right back into the slipstream. He'll cut to the bottom. And they'll continue to go back and forth for the top spot here at Auto Club Speedway. Only 150 laps tonight. The race was shortened just to try and make everybody happy. And these two at the front definitely happy right now, continuing to brawl it out. Oster leads the lap.
And again, like you mentioned, Jacob, this championship fight, all eyes on it here tonight. 150 laps to figure this out, but right now Jacob Oster trying his best to put on an early charge, having to fight off Brophy on the outside.
They continue to stay just all over each other. You're right on board out the back of Oster. You'll see Brophy just barely because the ticker's partially blocking him. Pull back alongside and hang even on that right rear wheel. 3 laps complete. Oster now clear out in front. Josh Chin, Robert Malechka 3rd and 4th. Malechka has to pick some spots up to get back into the championship battle.
And we're already starting to see some of these cars fight for grip, not just because of dirty air, but also because this pavement incredibly old, lots of tire wear to be had. They can only go about, we expect 25 to 30 laps on fuel too, so going to be a lot of short stints today. You're going to see them spread out quick, but as soon as they get fresh tires, don't be surprised to see them all packed together like we've seen at the start. Lots of great battles. They're still more or less side by side for the lead. Going to get more into line now, but going to be a hard-fought battle all day long, gentlemen.
Right side a little further back. Nicholas Pressey going around the outside of Jake Poulin there. Poulin had to lift off of 2. Again, that battle for 5th. Here's Brophy now back to the bottom of an Oster. He'll take the spot away. They continue to just exchange the lead back and forth. You mentioned how old this pavement was, Kyle, and yeah, this track has not been repaved since it was built in the mid to late 90s. So on the original pavement, it is bumpy, it is rough. This place may become a Amazon distribution center here in about 145 laps, but in the meantime, this racetrack, she's old.
And going to have to manage a lot of this. I mean, kind of like you were talking about, Kyle, but I mean, another part of it is the track temperature right now is 116 degrees, so absolutely scorching track surface, and tire wear over the course of the run is going to be a big factor as you see Brophy go up to the outside. Here comes Joshua Chin lurking right there in 3rd, and he's pulling Malechka along with him.
Down the back straightaway, still side by side. Chin is now there in the mix. So we add 1. It's a 3-car battle for the lead with Malechka right in tow as well. How aggressive will that 91 be as he tries to win a championship tonight? Here comes Chin to the outside as we ride on board with the 4th place car. 3 wide.
Talks about all that space. You see it there. Lots of room to go 3, 4. We might even see people dare to go 5 wide tonight, although I'm not sure that's advisable. I don't think we're going to see the car riding aboard with do anything like that, though. Robert Malechka, we talked about it before, 7 points down on entering this race, 8 now that the 16's led a lap. And you have to think, seeing Oster up ahead, you have to make those points up somehow. Jacob Oster, Robert Malechka both have been up front pretty much every single week this season. And given how close it is, their eyes are only on one another. How do you find that point gap? How do you make up 8 points on a driver that's been top 5 almost every single week? I'm not sure how you do it, but Robert Malechka is going to have to find a way.
Back down into 3, so Josh Chin, the man out in front. 8 laps in, he's too far back for the championship battle, but he just wants to win one before the season is over. Brophy falling back to 4th, trying to get back by Nicholas Pressey. As things continue to heat up behind, here comes Christian Steele to the outside. He's moved into position 6. He'll go by Malechka on the outside for 5th, and he'll pass Pressey as well, move him up to 4th.
That's a big move there from Steele, and Malechka just let him on by. And, I mean, you remember back to Michigan here in June, which is, I'd say, the most comparable racetrack to here in Fontana. But Robert Malechka and Jason Brophy, I mean, they had that race won. It felt like dominated that entire thing until they came together with, what was it, about 10, 15 laps to go and wrecked each other and let Jacob Oster, Hamilton Akabueze battle it out. But don't think you're going to see much of that tonight. Like you were mentioning, Kyle, Robert Malechka, you got 7 points. You got to be smart and think about that gap. And right now you see Jacob Oster leading this race. It really makes me wonder and keep an eye on that car number 91 to see whether or not he's going to go for it to try to stay right with Jacob Oster in the 16, or if he's just going to try to run his own race and come out on top as a result.
10 laps, now 11 laps complete. Oster back in front of the field. Brophy trying to work his way back up. I thought maybe those tires starting to fade already, but holding his own right now in that 3rd spot, the bright green car.
And I've complimented Brophy's expertise pretty much all season. This 44, whatever line Jason's gone for, has been pretty much solid. Every single corner, you're going to see another example here. Right along that bottom, doesn't move up at all, even in the dirty air of the cars ahead. That is going to be, whoever wins this race, whether it's the 44 or otherwise, whoever wins this race is going to have to do that whenever they're right behind these cars in order to get that run. You see the 44 here, I just talked about it. You stay behind those cars, you follow them in that line without losing the nose, and the speed boost you get down these straightaways here at Auto Club is immaculate. A humongous lead for Brophy off turn 2.
And they are just stacking up toward the middle of this pack. Malechka right now with Ashley Kolonix right on the outside rear tire. Got Jake Poulin just kind of hung 3 wide there with Mo Perry, Justin Malillo in the picture. It is getting dicey as these tires continue to age.
Gentlemen, this is one of the most fun car and track combinations for most of these drivers in the field. Just look at the different grooves you get to take. The driver has more to say about where you finish here than most of the tracks on the calendar, and I think that's why you're seeing this field be so aggressive. It's been nice and calm. Nobody's been in too close to each other or the wall or anything like that. But as this race clicks off, 150 laps, we've already got 14 in the books as they cross the line here. It's going to happen very, very quickly. And yeah, we're going to have pit stops, and we're going to have all sorts of other calamity along the way, I'm sure. But knowing that you as the driver have a chance to carve your way from the back of this pack to the front, it's going to open up a lot of opportunities you wouldn't usually see in the open wheel car.
Jason Brophy out in front of the field. Josh Chin 2nd. We've got Jacob Oster 3rd, Christian Steele 4th. Ashley Kolonix just pulled a slider on Mia Rose, takes over the 5th spot for now as Malechka continues to fall backward. And we've seen Malechka do this a couple of times this year, Caleb, where he will start mid-pack and try and go alternate strategy from the drop of the green flag, save as much fuel as possible. And he may not be at the front all race long, but he always finds a way to be there when it matters most.
Absolutely. I mean, he, along with Brophy, Jacob Oster, Josh Chen, I mean, all guys that you feel like are there at the end of these races. And Malechka, again, I've just been watching him right now because, like you said, dropping back, I don't know if this is some type of alternate strategy play off the rip here from Malechka. But, I mean, again, thinking back to Michigan, this is the guy that led the most laps. So I'm going to trust him. He knows what he's doing. He's in this title fight for a reason. And seeing him 3 wide, 2 rows deep in front of him may be part of the reason why.
And it really might be a strategy at play. I mentioned before, if you play your fuel wisely and don't go too aggressive when things are at their highest speeds, you might be able to stretch this 30 laps and take a look at that lap counter in the top left, 150. If you can carve that into 5 even runs, it might save you a pit stop in the grand scheme of things. I think that might be the strategy being employed here by the 91, but if not, you're going to see him probably charge through this field, definitely saving some tire compared to his counterparts.
Now the back stretch again. Here comes Brophy to the inside. Emil Rose retaking the lead. Continue to go back and forth in what has been a clean start to this point, Kyle.
And championship aside, too, we talked about it briefly earlier. Alexander Van de Sant is not here tonight. Hamilton Akabueze, not here tonight. A lot of these other drivers, maybe people who haven't gotten a win yet this season and are looking for their first, this is an opportunity unlike one they've gotten all season long. There is a real chance anyone in this field, if they play their cards right, manage their tires, and know how to work the draft, can win this race. And I think going into this race with everybody in that mindset, I think that's why you're seeing everybody drive this way. And I think that's another reason you might see the 91 maybe dropping back a little bit. Because every other car in this field knows if they put themselves in the right spot, they can win this race. And I think you're going to see, especially on the light stages of these tires, you're going to start seeing cars wash up. That's where you're going to see who really does have a chance if we go green a very long time. And if it's a short stint, your guess is as good as mine. So I guess we're going to see that play out together here on FTFGG.
Brophy out in front as we come around to complete 20 green flag laps. Here in the FTF 500, about 2/3 of the way through a fuel run already. We've strung out at least at the front of the field. The top two still nose to tail, but it's about a 1.5 seconds back to 5th as Justin Malillo trying to make some moves here with Mo Perry back in the 7th spot.
And you're really going to have to keep an eye. I mean, not only the corners where you're going to struggle with handling, but I mean, even the straightaways to some effect. I mean, you can kind of see with the onboards, but I mean, again, this backstretch at Auto Club is so known for just being bumpy, almost violent, the way it throws you around. And really throughout the course of a run, that can start to affect you as well, as Malillo will go down to the inside here on Jacob Oster, championship points leader.
The guy he's racing, Malechka, is back in the 12th spot. So no harm, no foul, at least right now for Oster. He can finish ahead of Malechka. He'll clinch the title, no problem.
And Caleb, to your point before, talking about how bumpy this racetrack is, it's to be expected given the pavement situation that Jacob was talking about. They started construction on this track in 1995 and didn't have their first race until 1997. That means this track is almost the same age as me, and the pavement is almost the same age as me, and that wouldn't be too noteworthy if I wasn't pushing 30. So these drivers are on an absolutely beat-up track. They are going to be fighting for every little piece of grip, even down the straightaway, like you said. Seeing these cars bounce over those hills towards turn 3, you see the cars get off the ground. Thankfully, these open wheel cars, lots of downforce, so by the time they get to 3, usually good to go. But as these tires age, I'm not sure if we're going to see that play out all the way through the run.
Yeah, if this track was still on the real schedule, it would be one of the oldest surfaces that NASCAR would run on, that IndyCar would run on. In fact, I think it would be the oldest, at least for the Cup Series.
Yeah, because it was Atlanta for the
right
longest time for the reconfiguration of it.
Now that Chicago's back on the schedule, that would take over, but Auto Club would still beat it. As they continue to trade the lead with Mia Rose and Jason Brophy side by side. Rose back out in front.
And give a call to Mia Rose as well. Mia's been up in the front a lot of the races this season and has a little bit of misfortune, it seems like, a lot of the time. But Mia's been up front more often than not. This 28 out in the lead right now, swapping the lead back and forth with the 44 like we were talking about. And that just shows a lot of these drivers just know that opportunity. Christian Steele in the back there making a move for 3rd. There are a lot of drivers who have a very, very realistic chance of making some noise today. And what better time to do it? You have a whole offseason to think about it.
I mean, you think this is coming back? Wait. I mean, it's going to be a long offseason.
The longest ever, they say. Brophy's still committed to that high group, and I think that's going to pay dividends. I know we're about to have a pit stop anyways here in a few laps, but you want to get every bit of speed you can, and I think the last 2, maybe 3 laps of the run, if you go 100%, you might actually be able to gap yourself from the cars behind, and that could be a humongous advantage entering the pits. Not having a car right on your rear wing makes all the difference in the world, knowing you're not going to get completely pile-driven by the car behind you. Just that mental security, that could be enough to get all you can entering pits.
Whoa, who is that to the inside, 3
Steele.
wide? Christian Steele shot out of a cannon. They're going to bring Jacob Oster back into the mix as well. It went from 2 cars to 4 cars. Have to wonder if these guys just saved their stuff, as here's Oster threading the needle to go from 4th to try and go for 2nd, and maybe the lead as he'll go 3 wide upstairs.
That is a daring move on the outside. You can see Brophy or Steele both drifting up a little bit. And if you're Jacob Oster, again, how hard is it to resist that temptation?
Crash!
Oh, caution on the racetrack.
Malechka! Pressy and Malechka! Championship implications on lap 28. And Malechka's done. He has to tow.
Oh
That
my.
might be championship over for the driver of the 91. What drama early here at Auto Club. Let's take a look and see what happened. Nicholas Pressy. Oh, just followed. Oh! Followed Jake Poulin up and into the wall.
Poulin was missing a wing there. I think that's why that 00 pushed up.
Let's watch from onboard Pressy. Poulin, yeah, just keeps walking it. And Pressy, nowhere to go and nowhere to go for Oster. Let's go a little bit further back and see what happened with the 00. Looks like this is going to start all the way off turn 4, Caleb.
Yeah, and Poulin, if you ride on board, it looks like Mo Perry just gets tight and then nowhere for Jake Poulin to go. I'm not sure if that was net code or it took the front wing off at the very least, kind of like Kyle said. And once that front wing is gone, you're missing so much downforce there. On board with Malechka here through 1 and 2, and you'll see just how little time he has to react. But
Caleb, you brought it up earlier. Malechka riding towards the middle of the pack there, trying to save tires. It usually pays dividends, but it also makes you very, very vulnerable for incidents like that. And we have a very busy pit road.
Yeah, we do. And we have a meatball flag for Chris Wetz. We have a flat tire. We'll find out. Let's see, wrecked it under caution or something. So 29 laps now complete. We're under our first caution flag of the night. Ashley Kolinix is going to lose the race off of pit road. It's Mia Rose by a nose. Kolinix, then Malillo. Oster, Brophy, and Moore just chilling in the box.
That's how fast things can change here at Auto Club. Things seemed very, very calm. It was getting a little more aggressive, but it didn't seem like anybody was overstepping any boundaries. And just like that, multiple cars, including one of our championship contenders, destroyed.
That's race going to be race over for Robert Malechka. And that's going to mean that Jacob Oster going to walk away with the title. This is also going to give Oster the Oval Championship potentially. That is still not decided. Malechka came in with about a 15-point gap over Oster. So if Oster doesn't finish, Malechka still could come away with a little bit of hardware. As a couple of drivers come back down onto pit road, we take the 1 to green.
And Jacob, that could play big dividends for those cars that just topped off on fuel. I mentioned earlier, very, very close to making it every 30-lap stint. This extra lap might not seem like too much now, but if that gives you that insurance to make every single run 30 laps from here on out, you might not have to save that much at all.
Anyway, yeah, 30 laps through, and I mean, already have seen some drama, seen some craziness, and for Jacob Oster, I guess a sigh of relief for you is now you don't have that looming presence over your mind the rest of this race. You can go out and just drive for the win. But really heartbreaking for Robert Malechka, your entire season coming undone by just an unfortunate set of consequences there with Poulin and Nicholas Pressey off turn number 2.
So here we go, getting ready for the restart. Pace cars in, Rose is on the gas. They have that early restart zone. By the way, Chris Wetz, he walled it trying to avoid the crash. He is out of the race. Look how spread out the field got off this
That's
restart.
28.
But yeah, here comes Kolonix. A huge run, a bobble from Mia Rose. And here comes everybody else.
Jacob, I think Mia hit the apron there in turns 1 and 2. Not a good choice on that end of the racetrack. And 3 and 4 can kind of de-wedge the car a little bit and help you turn. But I think Mia clipped it just a little bit there in turn 1, and that sent that 28 car up the hill and back to 3rd.
Just like that, it'll bunch everybody back up. Justin Malillo now with the lead. Ashley Kolonix and Mo Perry here 1 through 3. Mia Rose, Brendan Lichtenberg, who we haven't talked about yet today, but always a threat as well.
Caleb, we're starting to see a lot of those familiar names make their way towards the front of this pack. Lichtenberg, like you just mentioned. Josh Chin kind of faded back a little bit in that first stint, back up to 6th. Ryan Hunter, I'm not sure we've mentioned Ryan Hunter once tonight so far, in that 97, up into the top 7 now. I think we're just going to start to see a very different race, especially knowing there isn't as much of a championship battle. I know for a lot of these drivers, it's going to weigh on their mind. They don't want to impact it, but knowing that might not be any part of the equation anymore, why not go for it? And I think you're going to see a lot of these drivers be even more aggressive as a result. Right now, everybody's single file, but just wait until they get a little bunched up. We're going to start seeing people slingshot for every position in this field, most likely.
Here's Mo Perry in 3rd.
Man, look at Chin running up high there.
Yeah.
This soon into the run.
This is chaos here at the front. Rose falling back to 5th.
And it's hard to really put into words how difficult it is to do that when you're behind the wheel of one of these things. These cars are on cold tires. They aren't going to have the optimal grip until a few laps in, which we're probably getting to that point right about now. And on top of that, every single time these tires wear, all of that rubber, all of that lack of grip headed right to the high side, right where that 93 you're riding on board with right now was. Josh doing an amazing job keeping it up there, keeping it steady. Wisely keeping a little bit of a gap to that wall, though, and because the margin for error up there, almost 0, especially in these cars. Once they take off, they're about gone. As we see a side-by-side battle to the line, could be a preview of the finish, Jacob.
Could be. Malillo with the nose out in front. Holding on to the top spot, at least for now. Kolonix 2nd, Chin back in 3rd. It's a
Kolonix will
long
dip
way to
back down
go.
to the inside. See if Malillo can build up momentum down this long front straightaway. Of course he will. Peek back up to the outside. And again, I mean, yeah, kind of like you were saying, Kyle, these guys just make it look so easy up at the front of the racetrack. This is not easy. I mean, If I'm behind the wheel one of these, I'm in the wall 3 laps into the run, minimum.
Also, while all of this is happening, Jacob Oster, taking note how he is not in your screen right now, back in 13th, I have to think this is in an attempt to save fuel and tires. I've watched Jacob, he's been lifting a little bit, usually entering the corner high, not going to do that here as he's overtaking a few of them, but seems to be a bit of a strategy here, being very, very methodical, getting that 16 car back to the front. Oh, losing the nose a little bit there. That's what we talk about with that dirty air, guys. You get right behind those cars. In that case, there's a pretty big gap to the next car, and even then, 16 car is going to lose the nose, lose a few spots, but slowly making his way back to the front.
We talked about Matt Taylor much tonight. There he is in the 8. And he's gone.
There he was in the 8.
He just disappeared. He blinked out of the session, and he's gone. That's a shame.
I know, we'll see if he reconnects or falls out of the session here, but potentially perilous for car number 8. We'll fall back to 17th for the time being. Meanwhile, look at this battle between Ashley Collins, Mia Rose, Mo Perry. Was for the 3rd spot, but everybody will figure it out, sort into line. Jake pulling on a charge. Yeah.
After that wing damage, back into the mix inside the top 5. Or just outside it now in 6th.
Gentlemen, somebody I've had my eye on this run is Mo Perry. Mo has been going pretty much every single lane possible on this racetrack. Up by the wall sometimes, like here. I've seen this 54 down all the way on the apron in turns 3 and 4. A lot of different decisions being made, and honestly, it's worked. This 054 all the way up to 4th now as it passes the car right behind there. And now going for 3rd up on the high side, so that's what a lot of this run is going to be early in this race, especially if you can maintain the draft, stay in this lead pack. It's all about experimenting, figuring out where you have to be to make those runs. I talked about it before. You could very realistically have a photo finish today. Maybe you're the 2nd or 3rd car in line headed to turns 3 and 4 on the final lap. How do you get to the lead from that situation? And that's what every single driver in this field is trying to figure out right now, because for all they know, they could be in this spot. Auto Club, a track where you see a lot of different people run well from time to time. And I think every person in this field knows that, and you're going to see that throughout this entire race. The only person... car sideways in the back.
Brian
Hunter
saves it off the pace, but is able to keep all 4 tires and all the parts and pieces on that 97. Let's take a look and see what happened going into 3.
Oh, just stacked up and actually made contact between Hunter and Brophy, and I mean, I don't know how they didn't wreck. Yeah.
Watching from out back. Well.
And Brophy was incredibly fortunate not to lose his front wing there. That car, I think, is still intact.
Mr. Melillo remaining out in front, but it continues to be a conga line here at the front of the field. Of course, you had mentioned, Kyle, that there's the potential for a photo finish. We have seen photo finishes on the ovals this year. Had a huge one at Texas earlier this year. I think Pocono had a photo finish. Dramatic finish back at Michigan in the US 500. A great finish at Indianapolis in the Rectangle 500. Here we are in this last Crown Jewel event on the season here from Auto Club, and we wind up having another great finish tonight, but still a long way to go. We're almost a third of the way through.
What a send by that 28 car in turns 1 and 2. Mia threw it down into turn 1, got past Kolonix in the 222, couldn't quite make the pass off turn 2, and settled back into 4th here. These runs are incredible, though. The 222 might have 1-2 down the front here. As soon as you get into the turbulence of those cars ahead of you, exactly what kills you in the corners, it just gives you a burst of life down the straightaway. You can make 2, 3, 4, 5 even car lengths down these straightaways if there's enough of a pack ahead of you. And that's the exact reason you see that. Those photo finishes, those wild dives into corners. Tracks like Auto Club, tracks like Michigan and Pocono, ones you just mentioned before. Wow. You see a lot of that.
Oster. Remember, we were talking about him way in the back? Well, here he is up to third. He's on the charge now as we continue to near maybe our next round of pit stops. He's putting his money where his mouth is. He's headed to the front.
Yeah, Oster on an absolute surge, similar to what we saw out of Mia Rose in that first run. Just passing cars at will right now, and Justin Malillo has to feel like a sitting duck. Car number 16 behind, gonna dive all the way down to the inside. Jacob Oster will take the lead away, just like that.
That's what saving your tires gets you right there. But here comes Malillo with the draft, back up to the outside, looking for the lead, and he will retake it. And Justin is very, very strong on the ovals in these race cars. We've seen it before. We're seeing it again tonight. He can put a whole race together and stay competitive. That 53 might find itself in victory lane by the end of the night.
And Jacob, if you're not lifting early for the corners, the next best place you could possibly be for your tires is right up front, exactly where we've seen Justin the majority of this run. So I think this is a pretty even fight tire-wise. I think you're going to see Oster and Malillo swap back and forth, probably all the way down to pit stops, but not if Ashley Kolonix has anything to say about it. That 222 making a big dive down into the bottom of turns 1 and 2.
A third of the way through this race when we come across the start-finish line this time by. Here comes Oster again to the bottom. Looking for the spot. He'll take it away from Malillo. Continue to plow ahead.
And Caleb, you talked about it earlier, the fear factor here at this track, knowing that you could possibly find yourself in trouble just running up by the wall. That is only amplified when these cars get as bunched up as they are right now. All these cars in a very, very tight line, and you just know everybody behind you is going to be getting some slipstream down the straightaway. They're going to have a chance to overtake you entering the corner. And when that's coming from 3 or 4 different cars, there's almost nothing you can do. You just have to hold your line and hope for the best. And that could be absolutely devastating for these drivers mentally, knowing that at any point in time, someone behind them might change their race. Or like in Robert Malech's case, riding very peacefully, doing his own thing, just get caught up in somebody else being a little bit aggressive, getting their wing cut off, and then suddenly there's a wreck right in front of you.
By the way, an update on Matt Taylor. He has rejoined the server. He is 4 laps down. If and when we get a caution, you'll be able to get, I believe, all but one of those laps back. Chris Wetz is back on the racetrack. He is 5 laps down after fixing the damage to his race car from hitting the wall, avoiding that accident that brought out the first caution flag. Malechka and Nicholas Pressey done for the night. Their seasons are over.
I mean, the confidence that you're seeing in these drivers taking these runs is second to none right now. I mean, Jake Poulin just had an absolute banger of a move down to the inside in turns 1 and 2 that last time, taking a run. And I mean, again, if I was in this car, especially at this point where it's been almost 25 laps since these cars got fresh tires, I mean, all it takes is one wrong move, one wrong run that you do take to the inside, and you get the air to the nose cut off, and just like that, you're spinning up into other people. But these drivers, again, absolutely no fear to take these runs and just try to go forward with them. And we saw it out of Jacob Oster a little bit earlier. We've seen it time and time again up inside this top 5, everybody going for the lead. But Justin Malillo's done a fantastic job to manage this race from the top spot, trying to keep Ashley Kolonix, Joshua Chin at bay as we go back down into turn number 1.
On board with Kolonix.
And seeing that out of your mirror is absolutely one of the scariest things you can see in these cars, because you just know if they organize at all, you're going to have to defend against 4 or 5 different people. And there's just nothing you can do. These cars, open wheel cars, it's in the series title. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't push each other. You can't really block. I guess you can one time, but it's going to end in devastation. So a lot of these drivers are going to have to manage that aggression, try to make sure they're as peaceful as they can while also maintaining their track position Even the slightest contact can be completely devastating to your entire race. Just look at that 44. I talked about Brophy having that front wing completely intact. Jason Brophy has lost the pack. Oh, there's another car hits the wall there down the back.
Yeah, I saw that down the back straightaway. It looked like it could have been Oster, but NASCAR on Fox style, we click away from it and miss it live. So
Oster is losing some track position, Jacob, so that does
I
seem
think
possible.
it was him. Trying to get back up to speed now. Here's pulling up to third. The Mouse House with a strong showing tonight. 1, 3, 4. Whoa, who was that? Mo Perry? No, Christian Steele making his own chicane down the back straightaway. He came off turn 2 and was pointed to the infield wall.
Oh,
Melillo's
pit stop,
in.
Justin Melillo, yeah.
Party of one. Let's go back and take a look at Christian Steele's moment coming off turn 2. We'll do it from just the top of the driver's compartment.
Lots of clean track ahead. Not so much dirty air here, but these tires very, very long
got
into their
the
life
wall.
cycle. Yeah, pushes right up off turn 2.
Great job hanging on to it. No takers to pit road this time by. Here's Poulin looking for the lead. He will take it.
Gentlemen, earlier I talked about how Justin being in the front, you're going to save a lot of tire doing that. The one thing you don't save, fuel, having to pit before that lap 60 mark, that can be very, very devastating if this race is to go green the rest of the way. He might have to make a whole extra pit stop if he's not careful. Deitch into the pits this time, at 17. Looks like someone else, Brophy, coming in as well.
Mr. Brophy well behind everybody. Makes the call to come on to pit road. We're on lap 60 of 150. So from here, you have 90 laps to go this time by, which means 3 more pit stops.
An interesting note, I was trying to figure out what the cause was, but Jason Brophy came over the radio, said that his front wing was broken. Haven't been able to find where that originated from, but looks like he'll have the chance to get that replaced down on the pit lane as he comes back off.
Maybe he bounced it off the wall, getting off the corner, and that led to the damage. Looks like we're going to have some takers this time by. Kolinick's Poulin, Josh Chin, all coming onto pit road. And they do it without calamity.
And the further you can go, the better it is for you, realistically. I just mentioned Justin having to pit a little earlier because he stayed out in the lead that whole time. If you're able to get an extra lap or two now, the consequence for staying out in front, much, much less. And let's be real here. Leading this race, by far the safest place you could probably be in the whole track. So these drivers who are making it another lap or two could see very, very big dividends here pretty soon. Mia Rose, wow, using every bit of pit entry possible.
So
As is Art Reimer behind.
Oster, Steele, and Wallet all coming onto pit road as Poulin, Chin, and Moore flee the scene. Mo Perry, the leader of the race.
Here's where we're going to see the rest of the field peel off this time, Caleb. Yeah, we do. Everybody except, who's that? Matt Taylor, who does not need fuel by any means.
Correct, yeah, he's a lap down. Here's Mo Perry leading the rest down onto pit road.
And Justin Melillo is sitting right in the draft of Matt Taylor, who's coming down on the pit lane right now.
This will cycle out to give Melillo the lead. He has about a second gap back to Ashley Collins. See there at the top of the picture.
The issue is Ashley doesn't have very much draft help at all, so it's going to take some of these cars even further back, getting a little bit more bunched up, perhaps even the 53 burning a little bit of tire for all these cars to get bunched back up. I think we have to go back to about 4th and 5th before we actually get a pair of cars on a similar strategy that actually have each other's draft. There's a larger group of about 4 behind that. Eventually, if all these groups merge back together, you have to think they're going to run the leaders down pretty quick, but it's going to be very interesting to see what happens when they actually get there.
First round of green flag stops is complete here from Auto Club Speedway. Justin Malillo leads the FTF.GG 500. We are 10 laps shy from halfway this time by.
And this mid-pack, they are trying to figure things out. Christian Steele on the back straightaway about wadded he, Jamie Ritchie Price, and Jacob Oster up, going for a gap that was not there. But they figured it out, and Steele trying to get back around Art Reimer right now as Willow continues to pad this gap back to Ashley Kolnick and Mia Rose, who both of which have had just fantastic days up here at the front.
One of the biggest momentum shifts up front, Chris Wett's, a car that's a few laps down right now, pitted around the same time the rest of these leaders did, a few laps after actually, and actually got out in between some of these lead cars, and I think that's what gave enough aerodynamic help for that 222, the 28, and even the 00 now to all catch that 53. We're about to have a fierce battle on our hands for this lead.
Perry there trying to get by Josh Chin, or getting passed by Josh Chin through 3 and 4. Kolnick continues to work to close the gap on Malillo as they head to 1.
And one by one, as each of these cars start to lose the lead draft, we talked about the 44 earlier. The 44, 17, the 85, and the 8, who's already a few laps down, already completely splintered off the rest of the pack. The 76, very, very close to losing contact with those leaders as well. One by one, you're going to start seeing fewer and fewer people actually have contact to the leaders, and from there, it becomes even more of a chess match, because now you have to make sure you're not burning your stuff up so you don't lose contact. With every car they lose, it becomes easier and easier to lose the aerodynamic help you have from all the cars around you, and eventually that pack in second is going to start catching the pack in front once they have more cars. Right now, though, the overwhelming majority up in this lead group, using every bit of racetrack possible, right behind this 222. The 93 making a move for third right now on Mia Rose. Josh Chin trying to get back up to a podium position.
Chin will do just that. Slides to third, looking for second. Might be able to make the move going into 3.
Peek into the outside, but we'll see where they drift. Kolnick will slide across the nose of Chin, and Chin looking very stable right now. Opts not to take the run, but will just stay in line with Kolnick. That'll let Mia Rose get right to that rear wing. We'll do this all over again. Again, Josh Chin doing a fantastic job just to stay in the wake of the 222 in front.
Christian Steele right there as well. Your top 5 make it, well, really, your top 8 all nose to tail. How about Art Reimer back here? Silently working his way into the 8th position in the 49. He's right on board.
See here, Art taking a very, very cautious line here. Did a great job actually finding whatever clean air there was to be had with all those cars ahead. Kind of waiting in the wings, seeing what happens ahead, saving some tires in the process. I think this is going to pay huge dividends. This is a very, very complete race so far that Art's put together. He's up here with the absolute best this series has to offer, and so far this 49 has had a lot of speed. Off turn 4 there, going to have the slipstream of about 10 cars ahead.
Here comes Jacob Oster. fighting his way back toward the front. About 2 laps away from the halfway point. He almost runs right up the back of Mia Rose, getting into turn number 1. He's just going to be kind of stuck right in line.
You got to be careful when everybody gets kind of compressed together like this. This is where we saw actually that contact earlier that didn't result in a wreck between Jason Brophy and Ryan Hunter. But you got to be careful because everybody's getting the same amount of run. And when you get that draft, it just exacerbates the further that you go back. And you got to be prepared if you're all on the same line like that and ready to make an evasive maneuver if you need to, because one wrong move and a lot of cars will be in trouble.
Halfway home this time by. Remember, Justin Melillo had to pit early because of how much he led. He didn't have enough fuel to stay out nearly as long. Well, he has led just about every single lap since the cycle worked its way around. So I imagine it will be another early trip to pit road for the 53. What would save him would be a caution. We haven't had one since lap 28.
However, Jacob, to Caleb's point, they have gotten mighty close multiple times, mostly down into turn 3. It seems like a lot of this field starts to accordion together, and then from there, some of these drivers might not even actually want to make a move for position, but you have no choice. A big checkup ahead of you, maybe there's a car with a big run right behind you. If you lift, you're going to be the one on the hook headed back to the pits, so you have to make a dive into turn 3. Eventually, one of these are going to get timed wrong, most likely, and that can change the entire future for this entire race for every car in the field. Right now, that 00, a man alone on the bottom, absolutely no help. Of course, going to get some dirty air in the corner to make it a little even worse, as this pack is actually starting to divide a little bit. The first 4 pulling away a little bit over the rest of them.
Step aside. 74 laps to go in the US 500. No, we already did that. The FTF.GG 500 here from Auto Club Speedway. Justin Melillo is the man out in front. Pit stops coming your way next. We'll be back right after this. Battle for the lead is on here at California. Jacob Oster and Justin Malillo going back and forth. Malillo, though, down on the inside. He's coming to pit road this time with 67, coming to 66 laps to go. We knew he couldn't make it long. It's only been 26 laps since he was last on pit road, and he led just about every single lap since the last green flag pit stop. He needs a caution, but only once everybody's on the same cycle. Here goes Chin for the lead.
You have to respect the commitment to the strategy, though. That last run, Justin knew for a fact he's going to need that caution if it's going to be salvaged in one way or another. So why not just lead all the laps you can? Why not stay up there, make sure that car is pristine when it comes time to pit again? That 53 exiting the pits now. But Jacob, like you said, going to need these cars to completely make a pit cycle before he has any chance of hoping for a caution. Otherwise, he's going to be caught a lap down.
And I mean, these guys battling it out. You can't tell that a pit cycle's going to get thrown in here soon, but Christian Steele running right behind Oster, right in the tire tracks. We'll see. I mean, again, 64 laps to go. Say I mean, what, you'd think try to make it another 6 or so laps?
Absolutely.
Probably.
The further you can make it, the better. No matter how you shake it. The longer you can go on this run, they're running great lap times. They have all the draft they could possibly need. But you have to think, if you even want a chance to make it on one more stop after this cycle completes, you have to make it at least until about 61 laps to go. You can maybe stretch at 31 pretty comfortably, especially if they're all bunched up. But if you don't have to worry about saving fuel at all, that's even better. So I think you're going to see everybody out here try that. Rofi in that 44 also hits pit road. Jason's been trying his best to get back into that lead pack. It hasn't quite worked out. Potentially one of these short pits could maybe find that 44 back in the lead group. Gentlemen, one thing I absolutely love to see that we've seen play out, I think every single run tonight, at the very end of these tires' lifespan, it seems like this whole field starts to accordion back together. We saw it the first 5-10 laps of these tires, a little bit of gap between everybody. Everybody keeping a bit of a distance, everybody making sure they got to the end of the run. But now, when it's time to get all the track position you can, it seems like absolutely everyone has a good shot at it. Just look at that shot. Every single car in this lead pack in view, a lot of them taking different lines. That high side is really starting to come in, especially off turn 2. I think these cars are starting to realize, or drivers, I should say, are starting to realize the momentum gains off turn 2 there. That's going to be how you make a lot of these passes in the last stage. I'm calling it now.
Christian Steele here, up into third. A nice run for that 0-2 tonight.
A little behind that, too, we talked about him once before. Art Reimer, he's 6th right now in that 49. An excellent race for Art so far. And as of last lap, that window is open. So every single lap these drivers stay out is gravy. You can make it from one stop at this point, after this pit stop's concluded, of course. But if you can maybe whittle 3, 4, maybe even 5 laps down, at that point, there's almost no reason to not go 100% in that last stint of the race. Although I expect we're going to see a lot of people start peeling off soon. Hearing a little bit of radio chatter here. I think pit road might be a busy place here off turn 4.
Steele stays high. Josh Chin drops low. Jacob Oster drops low and gets out of the gas. Mia Rose will do the same thing. So 3 cars, 4 cars will pit. The 4th is Matt Taylor, who's 4 laps down. Everybody else, though, stays out on the racetrack. Here's your leader. It's Christian Steele.
These cars are all over each other. It's going to be very hard to even get into the pits without making some contact. I think that might be another reason you're starting to see these cars peel off a few cars at a time. Here goes the O2.
Cooling as well, coming onto pit road. Just those 2 cars. Making a stop this time by. Here's Molillo right in the mix with the current race leader. So a chance for him to save some fuel. Try and make this run a little bit longer, but it's already been 8 laps since he was on the pit lane.
Yeah, I mean, he would have to save a colossal amount, and I don't know if he's going to have the opportunity. Here comes Art Reimer and Ashley Kolnick down the pit lane. It'll leave Lichtenberg. Mo Perry is the 2 leaders.
That 53 back out ahead of the leader now, so at least for the time being,
box
on the lead lap.
Oh. Uh-oh.
That's very unfortunate.
Uh-oh.
That's not good, especially on a track where, like, I mean, again, yeah, you've been talking about it, Kyle, but staying in touch with this lead pack, that's gonna all but do it.
Please hold
add another driver to that
jokes,
camp.
by the way.
Add another driver to the camp that's trying to hope for that caution once the cycle's out.
So Mo Perry, the leader of the race. 3 cars have yet to make a stop. It's Mo, Jamie Ritchie Price, and Ryan Hunter. Here comes JRP, as well as Mo Perry. Ryan Hunter will stay out for one more.
And when this all shakes out, if that 97 is still within the lead pack, Ryan Hunter is going to be a very, very tough driver to keep behind you. At this point, especially compared to like people like that 53 Justin Malolo, Justin's been out there about 10 laps at this point. Those tires are already pretty beat up. That car's already lost a lot of fuel. Some of these other drivers that actually can make it on one more stop have even similar amounts of their tires, or laps in their tires. So you're going to see a lot of people potentially start pushing up a little bit sooner than this 97, which could be Ryan Hunter's ticket back to the front, but it's all going to be contingent on a solid pit stop and maintaining the lead pack. And that right now is going to be your leader here in about a lap. And he's got a humongous gap over second, or what will be second place, Jacob Austin.
All by himself.
And you're now race leader and not where you want to be. Again, keeping in mind that he does have to make another stop or an extra stop compared to the rest of this field. Only having a 3-second buffer. Again, no draft, nothing to help you save or anything like that. A tough spot for Justin. Going to just have to hang in there and hope for some type of a caution.
On 2 things I talked about earlier. First and foremost, that 97 just barely kept touch with these leaders. Going to have a little bit of drafting help from the 76 behind. Also, the 8-car Matt Taylor not too far out ahead. Ryan Hunter could be on the move here pretty soon. And on the contrary, somebody we talked about needing to climb back into the lead pack, Jason Brophy in that 44. Take a look at your standings right now. 4th, completely in this lead pack. Probably in the same camp as that 53 with Justin. Absolutely going to benefit from a caution should we have one. So right now, at least, a lot of these drivers, some pretty solid recoveries, and honestly, it's going to be all a matter of how long we go green. If we go green the rest of the way, those 2 in particular might be in a little bit of trouble, but should we get a caution, they're right back in this.
Here's everybody else. Chandler Noster going back and forth for second.
I mean, again, the advantage that Brophy has by just having this draft, again, he's going to get runs, but I doubt you're going to see him take anything. I mean, just sit here in the wake, save as much as you can, and could potentially be flirting with a scenario where you can just make it on one sophomore stop.
On the contrary, we talked about that 53, Justin Malala having no drafting help. That last lap, Justin ran faster than some of the cars directly behind with the slipstream. So absolutely no fuel saving probably going on in that 53. And that's what full commitment looks like. Get that lead as big as you possibly can. At this point, Justin realizes without that caution, you're going to need to make that extra stop anyway. Why not try to carve some of that deficit out? Maybe take a little bit less to the full tank. Maybe don't even take tires. See if maybe just barely you can hang on to the very last cars in this lead pack. But right now, that margin hasn't grown by nearly enough, just up to 4 seconds from 3.
Take a look from high above at the chaos here from second on back.
We've officially crossed over to the last third of this race. And I think every single driver, once you see it cross lap 100, it's like a little bell goes off in your head and you realize it's time. You have to make the move you weren't going to be brave enough to earlier. You have to put your car in a spot it hasn't been in all day because everybody in this field is going to take almost all the runs they can possibly take from this point forward. We talked about how many lanes there are. We talked about how easy it is to generate those runs. But what are you going to do when every single car ahead of you is driving defensively? Look at your screen right now. This is them being mostly organized. Once they're going 3-4 wide, maybe even blocking a little bit, not completely of these cars, of course, but maybe, a little bit of defensive driving, it is going to become very, very treacherous, and that's why I think you're seeing them start to make these moves early. Track position is about to become a premium.
.46 to go. They cross the line. 15 cars on the lead lap. There are 12 within 6 seconds of the leader. 11 of them in this pack you see right here.
And that blue car all the way to the right of the screen on the backstretch there, that is the 97 of Ryan Hunter. That car went the furthest of anybody in this lead group. You have to think in the next 2 or 3 laps, I think we're going to start to see Ryan Hunter carve all the way potentially to the top 3 or 4 positions of this group. And man, they are getting bunched up. Look at that down into turn 1.
You have to wonder how long they're going to keep this up before chaos ensues. Only one caution tonight. It's 28 laps in.
Sim racers in general, is when things get chaotic like this, there's unfortunately a bit of a correlation with your confidence level. It seems to rise about at the same rate, and that's why you're going to start seeing these drivers. I think they're going to start forcing themselves 3 wide through the center. It seems a lot of the time that car on the bottom groove, especially if they can't arc the car up off the corner, loses all that momentum. Potentially even can't even get back into line, they get slipstream. I think you're going to start seeing cars, instead of diving all the way down to the bottom, maybe put the nose of their car right in the middle, and that is a recipe for disaster. You can only do that so many times before eventually somebody says no, and that could be exactly what you're talking about, Jacob. That could be the caution that changes this race for both Justin, Brophy, and really everybody.
Yeah, going down to the number 1, that got dicey. He sorted out. But Malillo realistically is going to need a caution in the next 3 laps.
Everybody here on top of each other, really spearheaded by Ryan Hunter there with the daring move down 3 wide. And again, surprised that we're seeing a lot of this. You'd think everybody's just kind of riding around trying to get to that last money stop, which will, again, hypothetically be here in about 15 or so laps. But starting to see a little bit of almost desperation as that gap builds between Mia Rose, Jacob Oster. You got to bridge that gap just a little bit.
Almost wonder
should be fine though off before.
If Oster could smell the blood in the water essentially and wanted to back off a little bit just to avoid bringing out a caution. Remember, he still has to finish in a decent spot to beat Robert Malechka for the Oval Championship. He already has the season championship locked up after Malechka was involved in that lap 28 crash and knocked out of the race. But Malechka had that point lead in the oval title.
Not only that, but for the Triple Crown as well. You remember Hamilton
Yes.
Akabueze, Alexander Van de Sant not here. Robert Malechko was his main championship rival in that points format as well, and got knocked out early. So really down to he and Ashley Kolonix, who, I mean, Kolonix herself has been having a really strong day up in third right now. So definitely still got to be cognizant of all those variables, but not letting them affect them right now. Ooh, one car blinking. I think it was Mo Perry.
They about had that caution we've been prophesizing there off turn 4. A couple people pushed up. Jacob Oster, actually, one of them. And they went about 4 wide. Everybody able to keep it pointed the right direction, but with just under 40 laps to go, that is only going to keep happening more and more and more. Even more so once they make that last pit stop in about 10.
Let's keep this in mind as far as the point standings are concerned. Malechka will finish 19th. He will get 11 points. So without Oster finishing anywhere, as Melillo now makes the call, he's on pit road. Malechka, with scoring 11 points tonight, would have a 26-point edge over Malechka. That means Malechka would have to finish, Oster would have to finish 7th or better to win the oval title. In the Triple Crown race, Malechka out. Kolonix, only way she can pull it off is if she wins and Oster pretty much DNFs. Oster would need to finish 8th or better to lock up the Triple Crown. So really the goal for Oster, 7th or higher, would sweep the 3 titles up for grabs tonight. So we're coming to 36 laps to go. Maybe 10 laps from making their final pit stop of the night.
I think it's no coincidence you're starting to see these cars go a little bit closer to the bottom there in the corners, because that's going to set yourself up for success. Making sure that you can actually get that car to the bottom when it actually is time to make that last pit stop. This would be the worst possible time to lose the nose in the center and then maybe have to brake a bit more. Track position is going to be key to success. I think you're going to see, especially if a lot of these drivers opt to pit on the same lap, you're going to see people maybe weave a little bit down the straightaway, get themselves all the way to the bottom as low as they possibly can entering turn 3 this way, that they know they, for a shadow, or beyond a shadow of a doubt, will be able to enter that pit road. Especially if you do not want to be the last person out there. If everybody besides you pits, you are going to be in trouble. You're going to lose every bit of position you had.
.34 to go this time by. Mia Rose is your race leader. Started at the back. Walked her way up to the lead.
May have the benefit of some draft here shortly, is coming up on the lone car of Justin Melillo, who's fresh off the pit lane.
Also, to update on Art Reimer, we talked about before, slightly not get into the stall. Art did find some drafting help with Brian Zabelski, Jimmy Ritchie Price, and Chris Wetz. So it's not like anyone's out there completely all alone, thankfully. But definitely not where that 49 wanted to be or deserved to be. Ran up front all day long. You have to feel for that 49 right now.
Back in 14th spot, 13 seconds behind the leaders. Now with Melillo back on the lead lap, a caution here would still save him. It would put everybody pretty much in a spot where they'd be right on the edge of making it to the end on fuel. 31 and a half to go.
And speaking of needing a caution, I think the 44 might be peeling off here. But Jason Brophy made it all the way down to 31 laps to go before making this final pit stop. If Jason plays his cards right, I think this 44 might not need that caution at all anymore. There's a chance Brophy fights for the victory completely without that happening.
See how it all shakes out as Mia Rose tries to put Melillo a lap down.
And Melillo doing a fantastic job to hold strong here, but it's not going to be a match as Mia Rose gets on by. Here comes Melillo on back. He dropped down and actually cut the air off to the nose of the number 93.
Now Melillo at this point either needs a caution while he's on the lead lap or needs things to cycle around.
Well, and I think that's why you see him fighting so hard, is he knows that one ill-timed caution at this point, if he does go a lap down, basically ends his night, right? So, again, you're going to see him ultra aggressive, again down the front straightaway, take every single run that he gets in an attempt just to try to keep himself in a winning position. But again, having to hold off Mia Rose, and not only her, but the rest of the pack, Joshua Chin, Ashley Kolnick, all right here, Mo Perry. Just got to get there until the leaders decide to come down for their final stop.
Here, under 30 to go, you have to think it's going to be happening soon. We see the 28 peel off here. Mia Rose, one of the first leaders to make their way down.
Funny stop with 28 laps to go. The only one to make the call this time. Now here's Chin to the inside of Melillo to put him a lap down. Now Chin is coming in.
Chin.
He's bringing more with him. Oster, Ryan Hunter.
And Oster got every bit of it entering pits there. Almost missed it. Thankfully, locked up a little bit, got it down to speed. And all three of these drivers still in close proximity, going to be down to the pit stop.
Man, Kolnick's about wrecked it with Melillo there off the two. That was close.
And that would have been devastating. To Caleb's point earlier, Collins has been up here all night long, it feels like. Ashley doing a great job in that car. As we fast approach the last pit stops for all of this lead pack, and they're going for it. Look at this, 3 and 4 wide. Absolutely no bit of fear for any of these drivers. Poland going to wash up a little off too there, but going to be able to maintain track position. How long did these leaders stay out?
Might be coming in this time. Poulin missed the bottom a little bit. He will stop, so will Christian Steele. They'll lock it up getting onto pit road. Jason Wallet will do the same thing. Melillo stays on the lead lap. 25 to go. It's Kolnick, Mo Perry, and Brendan Lichtenberg that have yet to make a stop. Jimmy Ritchie Price as well. Kolnick is in. And there were 3.
And surprised that Mo Perry and Brendan Lichtenberg have stayed out even this long, but I guess just trying to push this part of the run as long as possible. But absolutely going to be no fuel concerns on their ends. Lichtenberg actually going to get past Mo Perry for the lead here on the outside.
Caleb, not only that, if they were fortunate enough to get a caution, right now only 5 cars on the lead lap, that'd be a huge advantage. Looks like Lichtenberg might be pitting and is.
That leaves Mo, Jamie Ritchie Price. He's coming in.
It's going to be Mo, yeah.
And usually staying out longer ends up being an advantage. Having less fuel in the tank, you end up going a little bit quicker. But right now, with Mo Perry out there all alone, essentially, really not much drafting help to be had, you have to be losing time doing that.
That's what I mean. It feels like it would have made more sense to just rip the Band-Aid off and yeah, like you said, time it to where you have a little less fuel in it at the end for the finish. But again,
if he stays out and we get a caution, everybody not named Justin Melillo and Mo Perry is trapped a lap down. It's not going to matter, though, because here comes Mo the Missile onto pit road. The dream is over. So 21 laps to go. Mo makes the call, and now Melillo has to go all the way around the racetrack to take the lead. But remember, he'll have to pit in another 10 to 12 laps. It's the battles going to be from here.
And I mean, Melillo at this point's got to hope for a caution, but the way this lead pack is racing, he might get it. Ryan Hunter, Christian Steele, Jason Brophy all over each other. Mia Rose had a big run. There goes Kolnick's flying on by. This is, I guess, what you kind of think of when you think of IndyCar at Auto Club, reminiscent of that race about 10 years ago now, 2015, where just everybody is packed up and everyone has a shot to win this thing. Josh Chin and Jacob Oster side by side for the lead. Ryan Hunter sitting back there, going to be under attack from Christian Steele.
And remarkably, Mo Perry has maintained the lead pack here. That 054 in the draft, that could be humongous here. Almost 10 less flaps on the tires for that 054 relative to some of the other cars up here. Will Mo Perry be able to put that to good use and get back up to the front? Look at those cars ahead of him, 3 and 4 wide, all in very, very close proximity to one another. It's going to be very, very treacherous, but definitely possible.
Coming to 19 laps to go, this time by Christian Steele to the provisional lead of the FTF.GG 500. Here comes Josh Chin, huge run. He'll go bottom. Oster will go top. They're 3 wide for second. Chin will pass them both. And look at that on the bottom of the racetrack. That's Lichtenberg sending it in deep. And it did not work.
No, Lichtenberg lost, I think, 2 or 3 spots when it all shook out there. But that's going to be what it takes if you want to get to the front, and that's going to be a learning moment. Lichtenberg realized, diving all the way down to the bottom, all that dirty air ahead of you, it is not going to work when all these drivers are fighting tooth and nail here at the end of the race. I think we're going to see a migration towards the top, especially if you can keep that momentum rolling, maybe have somebody follow you. It might be the move, and we're going to see that in action right here. That 222 up towards the top, not quite going to get alongside Chin. Ashley going to have to get back in line there. Moves like that, though, I think are about to become much more prevalent. Josh Chin up the middle for the lead, 3 wide.
The 17 to go. Steele able to hold it down there with Chin to the outside. They'll be side by side back through the tri-oval. Justin Melillo is your race leader, but he has to make one last pit stop to make it to the end on fuel. Oh man, Steele got the apron and got loose. And they're going to be almost 4 wide off of 2.
Oh, and they're not going to have enough room for this. Look at the run that Mia Rose has, looking 4 wide down into turn number 3. Had to get out of the throttle. Oh, but Jacob Oster on the outside starting to step out just a little bit. And this is where you run out of room and you can really get into trouble. 17 laps to go, and we're going to be racing like this for the rest of tonight. All bets are off at this point.
If you have a trick up your sleeve, this is where you play them. And this is where it comes back to all those passes you saw earlier tonight. A lot of these drivers being a little bit more conservative then, it was a great opportunity to hone your craft, figure out exactly where you needed to put your car to get these overtakes done. And those drivers we saw being a bit more aggressive tend to be the people we're seeing make moves right now. I don't think that's coincidental. I think they've learned exactly what it takes, and we're in for a treat here. 15 to go at the line.
Rose looking to the inside of Oster. Remember, without bonus points, Oster needs to finish 7th or better to win the overall season title. and the Go Sim Racing Triple Crown Challenge. Right now, he's the provisional leader.
And they're 3 wide again. It's going to be a lot of that from this point forward. We're going to see if you're anywhere within, I think, 3 or 4 car lengths, 3 or 4 tenths of those cars right ahead of you, you're going to have enough speed. Why not go for it? And eventually that's going to go wrong. We've seen cars hit that apron in 1 and 2. That seems to be the treacherous spot on this racetrack. Even earlier, that near wreck with Ryan Hunter and Jason Brophy nearly happened off turn 2. Seems to be the place you got to be most careful.
These guys running 5 different lines through turns 3 and 4 that last time by. 13 to go. Look at the huge run from Josh Chin. Shot up the middle like out of a cannon. And he'll take second back over and then crosses, chops the nose of the 16 of Oster, and he'll wash it up the racetrack.
And again, as laps continue to whittle down, I mean, we've seen the ability to generate runs all night long, and a lot of these guys have not been taking them, but we're at the point, 13 laps to go, coming to 12 at the line. You don't have that luxury anymore. Every single run, every single opportunity you get, you have to take, because you've seen how far it can take you, right? I mean, we saw Jacob Oster, Mia Rose, a few others tonight where you're able to just drive your way up through the field. And granted, that's a little later in the run, but that ability is there. And at this point, like I said, all bets are off. You have to take every single opportunity you get, because you may not know when the lap is going to come. They're wrecking. Jacob Oster, Ashley Kolnick's, man,
They saved
they saved that.
How did they hang on to that?
Josh Chin that made contact. An unbelievable save from everybody. 11 laps to go. You saw it as we were riding on board out the back from the 16 of Jacob Oster. What a save. It was contact between the 93 and 222.
And not only just save it, but neither of them have damage out of it. I mean, Ashley Kolnick, you'd think, would be at least missing a front wing. Oh, they're wrecking in real time right now. It's
into the fence! Huge crash, Josh Chin up on top of the safer barrier and upside down again. Jacob Oster is in it. Oh my God, Josh Chin just got absolutely cartwheeled.
That was unbelievable. That 93 went straight for the skies, went into the fence, and as you just mentioned, Jacob, tumbled several times. Oster, somebody that seemed like had a very good chance of just cruising to a championship in all 3 of those particular series, or divisions, I should say. Tremendous damage on that 16.
And no meatball flag yet on that 16. Does have a lot of damage. But if he can get it fixed under the caution flag, he may be okay. This is huge for Justin Malillo. It's going to put him in a position to pit and not lose a lap. Let's take a look at what happened coming through turns 3 and 4. And it's almost like, guys, there was damage to the wing of the 93, the way he just slid it up the racetrack in turn 3. May have just lost the air. Or no, he did damage the wing right there off of Oster.
Made contact.
And then he comes up and clips him.
At that point, you're committed when you're on the bottom like that with that wing damage.
It's
and
not done.
That is a huge hit.
What happens? What? Realism? Is there an Amazon worker down there that could just flip it over? That's not the button I wanted to hit. Space Force time. Buckle those seatbelts.
They're just a slight misjudgment. That's going to cost this 93 its right front wing. And from there, absolutely nothing Josh could do, pushing right up the hill into Oster, into the fence. And then after this, just goes on a bit of a joyride here. The car's going to tumble a little bit once it gets down onto the apron here. Oh my gosh.
I thought he got hit on the live look, but man.
For the viewers at home, if you've ever watched Wipeout, the big like red ball things that come out of the wall and hit you, it was like one of those right underneath the 93 on the track there. Sent that thing up into the sky, flipped 3 or 4 different times, landed back on the ground. I think it's safe to say that 93's day is done. Like you mentioned, though, Oster going to potentially be able to get this thing fixed, and that's imperative. If Jacob wants to win all 3 of those championships, he has to get back out there and at least hope for some attrition, or if that car's still up to speed, some fortunate luck in climbing all the way back up toward the front.
So he has at least led 1 lap, so we'll have a bonus point there. But it's still not going to be enough to move the needle. He still needs to finish 7th or 8th. I don't believe he has led the most laps tonight. In fact, Melillo has probably led the most laps, so he'll get that bonus point. Oster has left pit road after a minute 17 in the box. I imagine that's just going to be so he doesn't get lapped. And it is, because here's the pace car down the front straightaway. Lights are out atop the pace car, so Oster's car hopefully is fixed, at least as much as it can be. And now we're going to have a restart with 7 laps to go. There's the potential that more drivers get collected. Again, Oster has already locked up the overall season title after Robert Malechka crashed on lap 28. He is behind Malechka in the Oval Championship standings. And as of this moment, I think would still be okay for the Ghost Sim Racing Triple Crown, depending on where Ashley Kolinix finishes. Kolinix was 47 points back of Hamilton Akabueze, 23 points back from Oster. So Oster would have to finish again. We're talking 7th or 8th. That's if Kolinix wins. Kolinix finishes 2nd. That makes life a lot easier for Oster.
It's all going to be a matter of how all these cars launch once we get the green. Mia Rose leading us there right now. It's about to get wild getting down into turn 1.
Here we go. Mia Rose, Brendan Lichtenberg, Christian Steele, Justin Melillo, Jason Brophy are top 5. Rose back on the gas. 7 laps to go. Almost contact further back in the pack. We stay green as everybody is able to get it rolling. The field back up to 200 miles an hour as they go to turn 1. Here comes Justin Melillo. Remember, on fresh tires, almost runs over Lichtenberg. He finally got the chance to pit. Finally, the strategy pays off. And here he is up the outside, looking for 2nd, trying to get to the lead. Brophy is there as well. He also was on pit road. Lichtenberg stayed out as well as Steele, Rose, and others.
Be another lap and a half or so until those tires are up to full strength, but not gonna matter as we come to 6 laps to go at the line. Mia Rose, Christian Steele, side by side. Jason Brophy with the run. He's gonna go to the outside to make it 3 wide.
Brophy has had success this year, just hasn't been able to put the points together to make a run for the title. Is making a run for the lead right now. Up the outside, 3 wide. 5.5 to go and give Brophy, the Oregon native, the lead, but not for long. Here comes Melillo, 3 wide upstairs.
3 wide in 2 grooves. That is not going to work very well most of the time. They're able to keep it together here. Right behind Kolinix, 4 wide. 4 wide to the line.
Kolinix, I think, led the lap. She's going to go from 4th to 1st in a straightaway.
That is a sign of things to come. That caution not only going to benefit the 44 and 53 other cars. Art Reimer, Brian Zabelski, cars that weren't in the pack before. Another opportunity to get up front, and they're all over each other. Contact almost.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
Lichtenberg and Kolinix
there
are going to come together there. Kolinix saves it.
Again.
How did she save that? Oh, my
Just
goodness.
like what happened with the contact with Chin, we stay green. Brophy, your leader. Christian Steele on the bottom. Here comes Melillo up top. 4 to go.
And that moment has caused some separation. A lot of opportunity to generate runs, Caleb.
I mean, yeah, it's 3 laps to go, but I mean, you see we're already running out of room. How do they make this work for 3 more laps when they come to the line? They're 3 wide for the lead. Mia Rose is going to have a run off the corner. They're side by side between Brophy and Steele. Here comes Melillo up to the top.
Christian Steele on 22-lap-old tires, holding off fresh tires. Will it last? They're 4 wide for the lead with 3 to go. They're almost 5 wide for the lead going into turn number 1. And oh, by the way, here comes Jacob Oster. He's back in the top 5 off of 2.
Man, these cars as close as can be. 3 wide in 2 grooves. Mia looking even higher. A 4th lane. All these cars under a blanket, coming to 2 to go. This is what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen.
Palillo peeking outside, trying to essentially play defense. Steele hits the apron, and he hits Brophy. They're both going to slide through the grass. Into the inside wall goes Steele. We have a caution, and we're going to overtime at Auto Club Speedway.
And a brutal hit for that 0-2. That's got to be race done for Christian Steele, and that has got to be a heartbreaker. Christian had a great race all night long. Going to end in devastation.
Steele caught the apron, coming down to the start-finish line, and it does not take much to get these cars off balance, and sometimes the apron on the front straightaway can just be the kiss of death. Watch here, trying to give as much room as possible, hits it, and then bounces off Brophy. Almost had it saved, but once you hit the grass, it's like you're on ice. Another angle.
Unbelievable stuff here from Auto Club. And again, yeah, Christian Steele driven such a great race today, and just right there hits that apron, gets that car upset. Huge hit to the inside wall here. And in all of that, I mean, a really great save again out of Jason Brophy. That very easily could have been terminal race-ending damage if he didn't play that the right way, but keeps it going, and just a wild ride through the grass. But
I think he just gets scared of Brophy there on the outside. I don't think he's trying to get the apron. Just trying to move down and give him enough room, and just touches it. And that's all it takes to get him to weeble wobble and then bounce off of Brophy. And it's night over for the driver of the 0-2.
And another thing to think about there, Jacob, when that moment happened, once that 0-2 basically grazed that apron, he was only 2 wide with the 44 above. The third line hadn't quite come in. Justin wasn't quite there just yet. So he probably thought that there was some space for that 44 to maybe go up a little bit, should the 0-2 have to catch it. And unfortunately, it's going to result in contact. And I think that 53 got a piece of that, too. We're going to see him enter the pits here, too. That car got a little bit of air in that contact as well. That's heartbreaking for Justin, but he might still have the speed to get back up there.
I think he might be okay, but we'll see. We have one attempt at overtime. This race will finish under green. Very similar to the finish that we had back at Texas way earlier this year. Jake Poulin is your race leader. Some cars pit. Majority will stay out. Brendan Lichtenberg, who is on really ancient tires, he pits. Mia Rose on 28-lap old tires, stays out. And we'll try and win this race from second spot on the older Firestones.
And again, it's going to be hard, and I think why you're seeing Mia Rose make the track position call is, you know, if everybody was on older tires, I think it's easier to navigate your way through the pack, through the field, especially on fresher rubber. But for, I mean, Brendan Lichtenberg, Justin Malillo, Brian Sabelski, who are just now coming off the pit lane, I mean, there's only about a 10-lap advantage that you're going to have over 2 laps. So I like the chances a lot more of being up in second, right in the thick of it, even on older tires, rather than having to make your way up through, you know, 11, 12 spots. Because, I mean, everybody at the end of the day is going to have a chance at this. You know, if there is a big wreck that you have to navigate your way through, maybe. But
well, the other concern with 28 laps, fuel. Obviously, this will be the second caution to give Mia Rose a chance to save a little bit of gas. We'll get 3 to go here this time by. So it'll be a 31-lap stint. Has to be a little bit of concern, but I would imagine that Mia's going to be able to make it all the way to the end. So Jake Poulin is your race leader for our one and only attempt to the green and white checkered. This race will end under green. If they wreck, they wreck.
People like Justin Lichtenberg, anybody who might have just pitted recently, that's on their minds as well. They're going to be going full steam ahead the moment that leader restarts. I think we might even see people go 3 and 4 before we even get to the start-finish line this time. Only one thing is certain, we are in for an absolute classic. What a race it's been all night long. And we're in for a treat here. 2 laps, potentially, maybe a little bit less. But some of the most aggressive drivers at a very, very racy track. I can't wait to see it.
Just feel the nerves as the sun essentially setting here at Auto Club Speedway. The time in sim was set to 4 times speed. We started at noon. It's now 6:32 in the sim. So get ready to turn those lights on. The good news is this race is about to end, so we won't need the lights for very long and save on the electric bill. It's Jake Poulin, Mia Rose, Jamie Ritchie Price, Mo Perry, and Jacob Oster to win the FTF.GG 500. Poulin on the gas. We are back to green. Huge launch for Poulin.
The way that start played out, it's going to have a bit of a gap between all these cars. That's all about to accordion here in turn 3. You're going to see people make moves left and right.
Down the back stretch into turn number 3. Here comes Mo Perry looking outside 3 wide. Mia Rose out in front of the field on those older tires. Here comes Poulin back on the bottom. Coming back to the white flag. They touch. They crash. It's Jamie Ritchie Price around. We stay green. 3 wide for the lead. Mia Rose leads at the line. 1 more lap to go at California. Poulin, Rose side by side into 1, Caleb.
Yeah, no drafting help for any of these guys. You'll see Mo Perry. He'll drop back in behind Mia Rose. They stay side by side. Does Jacob Oster, Ryan Hunter, 5th on back have anything? They remain 3 wide going into 3.
3-horse race into turn 3. Poulin pushing Mia Rose up the racetrack. Mo Perry waiting in the wings in 3rd. Here comes the pack racing back to the start-finish line. Poulin gets turned. Mo Perry clears the way, and he will win at Auto Club Speedway. The seas part for Mo the Missile, and he will park it in victory lane to end the season.
We knew it would be chaotic. We didn't know that would happen. What a win for Mo. What an exciting finish. What a battle those last 2 laps were. Mia and Poulin going at it that whole way. Unfortunately getting a little crossed up there off 4, but congratulations to the 054. What a race.
And Jacob Oster finishes 2nd. He will win the title, the overall title, the oval title, and should win the Go Sim Racing Triple Crown title as well. Let's take a look at that wild last lap.
And again, I mean, Mo Perry had the right idea, just sitting behind these 2. They were locked side by side together. And the only way that you win this race is by dropping back and trying to just generate as much momentum as possible through 3 and 4.
Like they
close.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Obliterated at the line. It's almost like Rose trying to side draft. Poulin comes up a little bit. They touch or get close to touching, and that just gets them sideways. I want to know who. Is that Wallet? No.
Chris
Who
Wetz.
is that? Chris Wetz. And he stuck the landing.
Yes, so did a pirouette and landed it
Clear for
to
takeoff.
cross the finish line. Well, yeah, watch this from his onboard. Smoke,
Oh.
you're upside down, and then
Oh my
lands
gosh!
it.
Wow!
And what a kind gesture, making sure the 00 got to the line despite the crash. Wholesome.
Realistic Motorsports Simulator. Mo Perry is a winner in the ModernRacingPrince.com Open Wheel Series here at Auto Club Speedway.
Oh, guys,
Burning down the house.
We're getting news. The 16 is going EOLL. There's been a penalty issued to the 16 of Jacob Oster. That is going to be a huge change if that's actually going to hold up.
Let's go back and maybe try and figure out why. He's deep in the pack here on this last lap. Here he is in 4th. Be right on board.
Staring right at the sun like your doctor recommends.
Maybe there's a plow involved here or something.
You know, it could have been the lap prior. Jamie Ritchie Price got turned around and headed to the white flag. That might have been what this team was a part of.
Yeah. That's the one. Here it is. Again with the 16. This is 2 to go. Right, son. Here we go.
Holding the bottom. So far, so good. Gonna lose the nose
got
off the
tight.
corner.
Yeah, just washed up.
That's all it was.
So, end of longest line.
13th. Or 12th should be.
12th. That's
A big swing.
That's going to give Robert Malechka the owner or the Oval Championship. Kolonix finishes 7th. That's only an 8-point difference. So I think Oster will still come away. No, he won't. Hamilton Akabueze is going to steal the Go Sim Racing Triple Crown. I think.
And if that's true, that's going to mean all 4 of the championships have all been won by different people, which is remarkable.
Going to need confirmation from Justin Malillo. But in
All
the meantime,
unofficial, all unofficial.
In the meantime, let's talk with the man that got to burn down the house. That would be one Mo Perry. And I mean, Mo, the seas parted on that last lap. Not only are you a winner in the ModernRacingPrince.com Open Wheel Series, you win one of the Triple Crown races. Take us through that final restart.
Off the restart, I was just immediately cut down, get around Jamie, because, I mean, I love the guy. He'd messed up a couple restarts earlier in the race. I wasn't expecting him to do it again, but Then from there, I was just trying to stay in third because I did not want to be leading coming out of 4. And halfway through 3 and 4, I thought it was over. The only chance I had was what happened. So, wasn't expecting it, but that feels really good.
I'm at a loss of words from that last restart. Ending the season on a positive note, going into a next season, if there is such a thing. Nonetheless, you're beating some of the best of the best in this car at an oval. You know, really long race.
Thankfully, it wasn't longer, or else I probably would have ended up like Chin did. That's just about how my season's gone. If I'm running well, I'm going to mess it up somehow. Like, the broadcast obviously saw on many occasions me upside down in the wall, missing pit lane on a green flag pit stop. Everything I could do wrong, I did wrong. I finally did one race where I didn't make, well, there were a couple minor mistakes, but no major mistakes, and would you look at that?
Mo, congratulations on the win. Best of luck moving ahead, and maybe we'll see you next season. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mo Perry, your winner tonight here at Auto Club Speedway. There was drama in those final 2 laps. You just saw the spin one more time in slow motion. He came across the line second. He'll finish 12th, but he's also your ModernRacingPrince.com Open Wheel Series champion, Jacob Oster. He's with Kyle Riley.
And I'm here with Jacob Oster. Jacob, you had quite the night tonight. A little bit of controversy early, a lot of trouble to avoid, and then all those long runs. You were one of the most aggressive drivers saving tires early. Tell me, how much of a priority was that for you, and what was your mindset like all night long?
Well, tires were never an issue. It was all just fuel, just trying to get 30 a stint. It's what happens here. I was damaged pretty heavily at the end, so I didn't lift the whole last run, and I thought I had gave Jamie enough room, but I guess Australian Netcode decided not, so I'll cop that penalty. Nice to come out as a champion, though. It's a shame that Rob and I couldn't actually battle this out like we wanted to, but It's what happens sometimes whenever we go to a pack race.
Well, not only did you win the championship, you were also battling for several. Tell me, how do you kind of juggle all of those priorities mentally when you're going through a race this long, knowing that there's 3 separate titles on the line, and especially after, like you mentioned, Robert Malechka getting taken out early? How does that change how you approach this race?
I'm just not really thinking about it. I've been in situations like this before, early this year in another league, just like thinking about where I need to finish and just trying to survive. I knew if Rob was in the race, I had to basically beat him to have it locked up, and with him out, like it was all done. Because with Rob being out, I just had to score 7 more points than him, which was pretty easy if he couldn't finish the race with a broken car. I don't know how Triple Crown's going to plan out, especially after me not finishing second. If I finished second, I think I would have got them all, but it's been a good season overall. I'm happy with it. Just think I could have won a lot more.
Well, nonetheless, an excellent season. Congratulations on the championship. Very well deserved. And congratulations on your great run tonight. Hopefully, it shakes out your favor when it comes to the Triple Crown.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thanks for broadcasting all season.
Jacob Oster coming home P2. We do have official results on the Triple Crown and the Oval Points. Hamilton Akabueze wins the Triple Crown by 4. Akabueze missed tonight's race and still won it thanks to the penalty called on Oster. 4 points the gap. Akabueze wins the Go Sim Racing Triple Crown title. On the oval side, that goes to Robert Malechka by 6 points over Jacob Oster. So again, Oster finishing 12th. It costs him. He needed a total of 6 points, and he could have walked away with 2 more titles. He does win the overall championship, though, by 16 points over Malechka. Brendan Lichtenberg finished 3rd tonight. He's with Caleb.
Yeah, and here with, after the Black Flag, 2nd place finisher, Brendan Lichtenberg. And talk about that. I mean, just all season long, you've been here, you get your season best result here in the last race from Auto Club.
Yeah, it took me a while. I had a lot of bad luck, the previous races, especially on the ovals. A lot of it was my own doing. I would only say one I would consider not really my fault. I had 2 maybe, but you move past that and just try and get a better result. And I told my chat, when I pit at the green white checkered, I told them we're either getting a podium or we're getting a 150G crash, because Race Live has a new G meter, which shows your peak Gs when you crash. So I told them we're getting one or the other. And I preferred the podium, and I'll take V2.
Absolutely. I know. I mean, again, you're one of the staples of this series and have so much involvement on the open wheel side. See you with your stream going every single race. So, yeah, with this series' future kind of in question right now, it's definitely good and good to see you get that podium to wrap things up here from Auto Club.
Absolutely. Yeah. Whatever happens next, if there's anything. I mean, I had a lot of fun this season. It was it's a competitive league, but at the same time, I can have fun, which I'm a super competitive person. But if you're not having fun at the end of the day with something, you should be doing something else. So I had fun all season. Spa was a highlight for me, that wet race, and we'll take this one as well.
It ends up being podium tonight for Brendan Lichtenberg. Comes home 2nd from Auto Club. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, guys.
And a good catch there, Caleb, that yes, Lichtenberg does finish 2nd because of the penalty to Jacob Oster. So here's how results look. Scratch Oster from the list here. Mo Perry, your winner. Brendan Lichtenberg 2nd. Ryan Hunter 3rd. Justin Malillo 4th. Art Reimer 5th. Mia Rose 6th. Ashley Kolinick 7th. Brian Zabelski 8th. Jake Poulin finishes 9th. And in the end, it's going to be Jason Wallet finishing with the top 10 here, Kyle.
And then behind that, Jason Brophy just outside the top 10, followed by Matt Taylor, Jamie Ritchie Price, Christian Steele, Chris Wett, Joshua Chin in 17th after that flight lesson, let's say, in turn 4. Michael Deitch, 17th. 18th, Robert Malechka. You got to feel for him. Nicholas Pressey, 19th. Wow.
And, yeah, we don't count Seth Knoll, so, because he didn't race tonight. He was our admin and still joined as a driver. So, a wild finish that ends up with Mo the Missile going to victory lane, guys. A wild night.
That it was, Jacob. It was a lot of fun. These cars, great opportunities to overtake all night long. We saw so many lead changes. We saw a lot of battles. We also saw people like Justin able to get up there and really flex some muscle, pull away from the pack a little bit. So you got a little bit of everything. No matter what you like motorsports for, you got to see it tonight. I, for one, am a very happy camper, and I hope everybody that got to watch is as well.
Yeah, and I mean, I think overall, kind of like you mentioned, but you got a little bit of everything here tonight. So I mean, just really a love letter to what this series, this league is about. It's been so much fun to be alongside you guys, everybody that makes this league possible. We got just a little bit left to chug along on the Bar Visuals FTF Cup Series side, and going to enjoy every single second of it. But really hard fought racing from everybody around. Mo Perry finally gets that win here, and Jacob Oster, a well deserved overall championship for him. But just excited to look forward to the rest of what FTF has in store for us the rest of this year.
No doubt about it. Of course, the Bar Visuals FTF Cup Series will be back tomorrow night. Justin Malillo has joined the party. He's our 4th place finisher. Hi, Justin. I assume you're here to talk.
Oh, I didn't know we were still going.
Okay, well then we'll keep this short, I guess. The Bar Visuals FTF Cup Series is back tomorrow. I think Justin's going to be broadcasting that. We're at New Hampshire.
So.
Yeah, we'll be back for our regularly scheduled nonsense on the 27th at Auto Club Speedway for the Bar Visuals FTF Cup Series as that season winds down to a close. In the meantime, Mo Perry, your winner here at Auto Club Speedway. I want to thank you so much for watching all season long. Thanks so much to Go Sim Racing and ModernRacingPrince.com for sponsoring us all season long and helping Justin pay the bills. But for Kyle Riley, Caleb Hoffman alongside me, I'm Jacob Pitts. Thank you so much for watching. The season is over. Jacob Oster's your champion. Mo Perry, your winner at Auto Club Speedway. Good night.